Namaskaram. Mahabharatam. We have finished Ramayana as narrated by sage Markandeya. Next, we are going into the story of Satyavan and Savithry. It's very famous in the Puranas. There was an old film I have watched in my very childhood. I don't even remember whether it was in Malayalam or Tamil or Telugu, because those were the days when Malayalam films were very rare. They had just started coming out. Films that came to my village were originally all Telugu and soon followed by Tamil films. So when I remember, it was mostly Tamil films. So I'm not sure if this Satyavan Savithry film, which I watched, whether it was in Tamil or Malayalam. Anyway, I remember the story very well, but I also read it in Mahabharatam. I have read it in the past, I have read it today. I found it so interesting that I read it from beginning to end in one sitting. 23 pages of printed page poetry, but the story was so captivating, I finished it in one go. So, into this, it was a question after Ramayana that Yudhishthira told Markandeya that, look, I'm not bothered about the kingdom, my share of the kingdom, getting it back. I'm not bothered about my brothers, but I am bothered about this Draupadi. See how she is suffering. She shouldn't have such a fate. She was born in a royal family, and she was born like a pet child, and through a great choice that Arjuna won her over. But look how she is suffering. Has anyone else in the Puranas suffered like this? To that Markandeya gave this, narrated the story of Satyavan Savithry. To me, it's not a good comparison. Yes, Damayanti, true, Damayanti was like that. But Savitri, it is very different. Anyway, let us go into the story. There was a king by name Ashwapati in the kingdom of Madra Desha, from where Madri, the mother of Nakula and Sahadeva, came. But of course, the story is much older. This King Ashwapati was a great king. He ruled over the kingdom like an ideal king. He was very generous to Brahmins and to the needy people. So in all respects, he was an ideal king, but he had no children. He was getting old, no children. So he started a Savitri Vratam. The goddess Savitri is the goddess of Gayatri Mantra. It is called also Savitri Mantra. Anyway, goddess Savitri is supposed to be the deity, guardian deity of this Gayatri Mantra. Tal Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yoma Prachodayal. That is the Gayatri Mantra. Its guardian deity. It was an 18-year-long vratam which King Ashwapati performed true to the letter. He had to fast over several days, uh, serve Brahmins and lots of other rituals. He followed them true to the word. And at the end of 18 years, in the evening, when 18 years were complete, goddess Savitri appeared in front of Ashwapati and asked what boon he would like to have. Ashwapati had no hesitation, no second thought, said, I don't have children and I want a child desperately, badly. Then the goddess said, all right, you will have a baby girl who will be perfect in all respects. But you have no choice. You accept this and please don't argue, don't ask for anything else. And the goddess disappeared. And Ashwapati was happy because he didn't have any children. A boy or a girl, a child was what he was looking for. And his wife in due course became pregnant and she delivered a beautiful baby girl. She was glorious in her looks and she grew up, perfect in all qualities. All decided to name her Savitri because she was a boon from the deity Savitri. She grew up true to the expectation of the king and the court, and she became young of marriageable age, but no one came asking for her hands. The king got worried. He tried all means, but there was no, prospective groom coming. So the king was already getting old, so he called his daughter, said, Savitri, look, I have tried for a groom for you. I have tried my best. I have no luck. Now, the only choice I see is that you go yourself and search anywhere in the world. And if you find anyone whom you think suitable to you, you tell me, I shall make sure you will marry him. And Savitri agreed. He sent her off in a chariot in the company of wise, aged ministers. And then they went around from kingdom to kingdom, whatever may be their pretext. They went around and after some time they came back. And king asked Savitri, did you succeed? Then Savitri said, yes, father, I have succeeded. But I have succeeded. He is the son of King Indradyumna, Dyumnasena, King Dyumnasena of Salva. Salva King Dyumnasena, Dyumalsena. Dyumalsena has a son by name Satyavan. I find him suitable to me. And sage Narada was sitting there with Ashwapati. And the king asked, Maharshi, what do you think of this Satyavan? You know from your divine vision, you know what is in store. Will he be a good choice? Maharshi thought, and he said, yeah, he is perfect in all respects except one. He's very handsome, he is in good health, he is of excellent moral qualities, he will be ideal to be a king. In all respects, he is very good. Then Ashwapati asked, but you said all except one, and what is the black mark if he is good in all these respects? Then Sri Narada said, look, he has short life. From this day, he shall live only for 365 days. When 365 days are over, he will lose his life. And Ashwapati said, oh no, Savithri, he's no good for us. Go and look for someone else. But Savithri said, Father, is it not said that three things you do only once in a lifetime? One is that partition of ancestral property. Second is give a promise. You don't break it. Once given, it is a promise. And third is a kanya. A maiden is given only once. A promise is made once, and that sticks. Sri Narada and Ashwapati tried to convince her, but Savithri was firm. So Sri Narada Maharshi said, it looks that your daughter has chosen, and she will stick to that, and she won't swerve. So let us leave it at that. So Ashwapati also thought that is the fate. So he consulted the priest, found an auspicious day, and went with Savithri and ministers and priests. They went to the forest where this Vimalsena was living with Satyavan. Then he greeted Vimalsena. Vimalsena was blind. We didn't go into that. This Vimalsena was a blind king. He became blind in life afterwards. And because of that, he couldn't hold his kingdom. The enemy, his age-old enemy attacked and captured the kingdom and threw him out. So Vimalsena with his wife and son escaped the forest, built a hermitage and started living there. And Ashwapati searched and found him and greeted him and presented the topic. And Ashwapati, Vimalsena said, oh, of course, I am very pleased to have a relation with you. I was in fact hoping for an alliance with a king like you. So I'm only too happy to accept your daughter as my daughter-in-law. So the marriage took place in a simple ceremony. King Ashwapati returned and Savithri started living with Satyavan in the hermitage, living exactly like a hermit, doing all the services to Satyavan and also to his parents. I think one more day we should be able to finish it, but today it will be a bit short. So I stop here because time is getting over. So we shall continue next day. Namaskaram.